Hi, it's Mark Bossert from Top Local Lead Generation. We're here with award-winning, best in Vancouver Realtor, Mr. Paul Toffoli. How are you today, Paul?
I'm well, Mark. Having a great day.
Awesome. So we recovered from our power outage here, and we're going to talk about how does a realtor help with your property search? How does that work?
Sure. And I think that's one of the main jobs of a realtor is to help their clients find properties that may be of interest to them. I mean, one of the things that we know is in the days that we're in now with all the technology and the internet and so many people are so tech savvy and able to do searches on their own. People can find properties on their own. It's not magic like it used to be to find properties. What I find my clients tell me is that having someone like myself help them through the process really increases their efficiency. So I've been through it. This is what I do full time as my profession. Is I help people buy and sell properties. So there's lots of things that I can do to just make it more efficient, sending them properties that I know will be better for them than others. Or if there's questions on properties, I'm kind of a one-stop shop. I can get the answers for them. One of the things my clients really appreciate is that, if we're going to go look at a number of properties, we just set a time up together. I make all the phone calls. I set up all the appointments. We say we're going to meet at property A at such and such a time, and we're going to be together until a couple of hours later. And it's just a very efficient process. They don't have to make 100 phone calls or 10 phone calls and listen to the voicemails and so forth. So it's just becomes a much more efficient process. And also, as we've talked about quite a bit on other Google Hangouts, we have there's going to be questions. There's going to be all those things with contracts and so forth. So part of it is building that relationship over the course of looking for properties. And so I have a better understanding of what my client is looking for, and they can ask me all the questions that are going to give them a comfort level when it comes time to actually put in an offer and get really serious about buying a property.
So my experience when we bought our last house was we sort of worked in concert. Our realtor found houses and we looked and we were able to help him refine what it was we were looking for because we were looking at the same time. So we worked in as a team, but also I found that often we would get distracted by perhaps stuff that was not in our target range, maybe a little bit too expensive and too nice, and wouldn't it be nice? Where that's where I found our realtor was very focused on finding what would really fit us.
Yeah, and that's a fact. I mean, look, it's really fun to go and look at properties. It can be really fun. I enjoy it, and it can be fun to go see some stuff that maybe not quite what you started out looking for, and sometimes your ideas will change over the course of the process. But having somebody who's been through it, who's a sounding board, who you can talk to about each property as they come up, really, I think, helps refine the process. And again, we're busy people. As I said, we can all look online and see properties and think, that might be a good one. But the fact that I've seen so many and know the right questions to ask both of my clients and of the listing agent or the other realtor who may be presenting the property really, I think, helps us to save a great deal of time and energy and makes it a much more efficient process.
Experience pays off, basically.
Experience pays off, and I think one of the other big factors is when we're walking through a property and my clients have questions about can we renovate, can we update, what about the wiring, what about the plumbing, guess what? They don't have to ask those questions because I'm already asking them for them before we get into the house. I'm pointing out areas of concern or areas of benefit. And that's really, I think, one of the biggest things, because this is what I do, because I've done so much of it for myself and for my clients. They really appreciate having that instantaneous feedback, so that they're not going home scratching their head and then coming up with the question later, that, oh, we've got to go back and ask the listing agent or whatever. It becomes a much more efficient and enjoyable process.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. So we've been talking with the champ, the current holder of the best in Vancouver, voted by the readers of the Georgia Straight, Mr. Paul Toffoli, best realtor in Vancouver. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Thanks, Mark.